Down here, oysters ain't just dinner, they're a lifestyle. Folks argue over them like it's SEC football. Raw, fried, grilled, buttered, gumbo, you name it. New Orleans already nailed it. Some go down smooth, some hit like a punch, but everyone's got attitude. Now, go grab a fork. In the heart of the French Quarter, where brass bands echo and beignets reign, another icon quietly rules the culinary scene, the humble oyster. But these salty little treasures didn't just show up on a silver platter. They clawed their way to glory, one slurp at a time. Back in the 1800s, oysters were the original grab-and-go snack. Street peddlers would set up shop on the sidewalk, knives in hand, shucking fresh oysters for the price of a nickel. Long before the neon and Mardi Gras beads, Bourbon Street was an oyster lover's paradise. Oyster bars outnumbered drinking bars, if you can believe that, with raw counters lining the blocks like seafood speakeasies. It wasn't a party street, it was a slurp street. Most folks around the country followed the old don't eat oysters a month without an R rule. But New Orleans, always the rebel, said nah. With access to river ice and quick delivery from nearby waters, the quarter made oysters a year-round affair. Yes, even in August. Before Uber Eats, oysters got to town by boat, then by mule carts packed with river ice. Imagine the 1800s version of Amazon Prime, but way saltier and pulled by something with hooves. The French Quarter didn't just eat oysters, it designed buildings around them. High ceilings, marble bars, and long counters were all part of the oyster house boom in the late 1800s. Architecture with appetite. That beloved ritual of standing at the bar, slurping oysters while sipping cold beer? It started right here in the French Quarter. Locals and tourists alike lined up shoulder to shoulder, bonded by brine and beer foam. In the 1890s, Antoine's had a butter shortage and needed a fix. What they created was so rich, they named it after America's wealthiest man. Thus, Oyster Rockefeller was born, not in a lab, but down the street. In the 1800s, the mighty Mississippi sometimes got a little bit too generous, flooding the Gulf with fresh water and nearly wiping out oyster reefs. French Quarter restaurants scrambled, sourcing oysters from farther afield, but they never stopped serving. Early 20th century guidebooks weren't shy. Come for the architecture, stay for the oysters. Long before Instagram food pics, oysters were the edible postcards in New Orleans. Today, the French Quarter slurps down more oysters per square foot than just about anywhere in the country. Raw, fried, char-grilled, Rockefeller. It's not just tradition, it's an obsession. Alright folks, let me tell you the story of 739 Conti Street, the corner where bourbon meets Conti and history meets hangover. These days, the joint's called Oceana Grill, and it's slinging gumbo, oysters, and late night regrets to tourists who think they can outdrink New Orleans. Spoiler alert, they can't, but they sure give it the old college try.
Thanks. I needed that.
Back in the mid-1900s, long before somebody thought to fry everything that swam, this corner was home to a little Cantonese spot called Mi Hong's, or Jen's Mi Hong, if you were on a first-name basis with your egg rolls. Folks swear the place was legendary, open till the 80s when the last fortune cookie got cracked and the quarter lost one of its quiet little treasures. This building is a real looker, 3 stories tall, brick all the way up, balconies that could tell you secrets if they could still talk, and iron railings that have seen more Mardi Gras beads than any sane person should. It's your classic 19th century Creole townhouse, the kind that's been sweating through New Orleans summers since Abraham Lincoln was still working on a flatboat. And make no mistake, This spot's old, real old. Records from the early 1800s already list buildings on the property, meaning this corner has been making itself useful since the days when horse traffic was the main concern. Today it sits on Square 63, which sounds like something out of a Monopoly game, but is just the city's way of saying, yep, this one's important. The historians at the Historic New Orleans Collection even keep a file on it, photos, maps, and everything, just to make sure nobody forgets how long this corner has been holding up drunks and dreamers alike. So there you have it, from Cantonese comfort food to Creole classics, from 1800 builders to 21st century brunchers. 739 Conte has seen it all. It's not just a building, it's a reminder that in New Orleans, even the bricks got stories to tell, and most of them sound better after your second drink. Oceana Grill is sitting proud on the corner of Bourbon and Conti, right in the heart of the French Quarter, the crossroads of seafood and sin. This old brick beauty's been feeding the faithful and the foolish alike for years, and if walls could talk, these would probably slur. This place hums all day and half the night, serving up oysters, gumbo, poor boys, and anything else that once swam, crawled, or clucked. They fry it, blacken it, or drown it in butter till you forget what it used to be. Now, don't make the rookie mistake of thinking you can just stroll in whenever you please. This ain't no we'll squeeze you in kind of joint. You need a reservation partner, and by the time you show up, the smart folks have planned way ahead and are already halfway through their oysters and laughing at your misfortune. So call ahead, click ahead, or send a carrier pigeon, whatever it takes. They open bright and early around 8 a.m. and they don't shut down till 1 a.m. because in New Orleans, breakfast and last call have a way of getting real cozy. There's a full bar too, because no respectable French Quarter restaurant lets you face the day or the night without a little liquid courage. The place itself is a slice of New Orleans theater, dining rooms dressed in Creole color, a courtyard where you can hear the saxophone drifting down from Conti Street, and a staff that runs the joint like a well-oiled parade. If you find yourself wandering down Conti with a growling stomach and a guilty conscience, swing by Oceana Grill. Just make sure your name's already on the list. You'll find a plate full of seafood, a crowd full of stories, and a taste of that old New Orleans magic, served hot, loud, and with a size of laissez-aller bon temps roulé, y'all. Now, if you ever find yourself sitting at Oceana Grill staring down a plate of oyster Rockefeller, go ahead and count your blessings. You're about to eat something fancy enough for a millionaire, but honest enough for a fisherman. They come out still sizzling, lined up on their shelves like little jewels in a row, smelling of butter, garlic, and good intentions. The spinach is creamy, the breadcrumbs are crisp, and that wisp of anise floats up like a polite reminder that this city never does anything without a wink. The oysters themselves are fat and proud, straight out of the Gulf, and they don't hide it. One bite, and you'll swear you can hear the waves slap against the levee. It's rich, salty, and sinful in all the right ways, like New Orleans on a Sunday morning after a Saturday night got a little out of hand.
I think it's so good.
Oh yeah. So good. And if you're thinking about sharing, don't. This is the kind of dish that'll make you question how much you really like the person sitting next to you. Oceana's Rockefeller ain't trying to reinvent the wheel. It's just making sure the wheel's rolling in butter. And brother, that's good enough for me. Very, very good. Now, if you spot that Big Chief Oyster Florentine on the menu, don't overthink it. Just point, nod, and let those good times roll. This dish ain't here to impress the food critics. It's here to make you grin like a man who just found a 20 in his fishing pants. They bring it out hot enough to make your eyebrows stand at attention. plump Gulf oysters tucked under a blanket of creamy spinach, butter, and enough cheese to make a dairy farmer blush. It's rich, it's bold, and it don't apologize for it. You can taste the sea in every bite, pair it with a coat of beta or a tall sweet tea, and you'll swear life just got a little easier. Like the oysters just got promoted straight from the Gulf to your plate. The spinach gives it that I'm eating greens excuse, but don't fool yourself. This ain't healthy food. This is Louisiana food, which means calories don't count if you're smiling. The whole thing's baked till it bubbles like a pot of gossip on a front porch. And when you taste that first bite, that's good. It's like the ocean and the bayou shook hands and agreed to call it dinner. It's perfect. Could not be better. It's the kind of dish that makes you feel like you're doing something slightly sinful, but entirely worth it. And around here, that's about as close to religion as dinner gets. Good to the last oyster. Alright y'all, buckle up because we're about to take a stroll through one of the most photogenic corners in New Orleans, Jackson Square. Now I know your feet hurt and your blood sugar is low, so let's start with food, naturally. See that bright, bustling cafe right on the corner of St. Anne and Jackson Square? That's Stanley of New Orleans. Not just Stanley, but that Stanley from Tennessee Williams' streetcar named Desire.
Hey, Stanley!
It was created by local chef Scott Boswell. And when I say local chef, I don't mean some Food Network cowboy. I mean he beat Starbucks for this primo spot, which is about as New Orleanian as you can get. Stanley's opened shop in 2008 in the bottom of the Lower Pentaba building, and it's been slinging Eggs Benedict and po' boys from a front row view of the cathedral ever since. And look, this ain't just any building Stanley's sitting in. That's the Lower Pentaba building, built in the 1850s by a Creole baroness named Michaela Almonester de Pentaba, who I can only assume was equal parts beauty queen, business genius, and absolute hellraiser. She spent a boatload of money, like pre-Civil War baller status, bulldozing a bunch of janky old buildings to make way for these twin red brick beauties on either side of the square. Think Paris meets Bourbon Street, but with much more wrought iron. Now the Lower Pentaba building has got a row of shops and restaurants on the ground floor. But upstairs, those are actual apartments, not condos, actual honest-to-God rental apartments. In fact, they say they're the oldest continuously rented apartments in the United States, which basically means people have been paying too much rent here since before Lincoln had a beard. And speaking of history, just a few doors down from Stanley's is the 1850 house. This place is like stepping into a time machine, but with less risk of dysentery.
In this past year, I have lost your dear father and our dear baby girl. I cannot help you with your current predicament.
It's a house museum that shows you how fancy folks lived around the time the Pentaba buildings were brand spanking new. Now, don't expect some haunted mansion or soap opera-worthy family saga. They don't focus on one specific family. Instead, they decked it out with period furniture, portraits, and china like what a prosperous Creole family might have had. It's giving Downtown Abbey Gulf Coastal Edition vibe. You'll enter through the museum shop. Yes, you have to go through the gift shop first. Capitalism is alive. And then head upstairs to see the parlor, the dining room, the bedrooms, and maybe even a sneak peek back at where the kitchens and courtyards were. You'll get to learn about everything, from Creole society.
Tommy's dress backward.
Perhaps it was an improvement.
Tommy's
IT.
To dinner party etiquette.
Blast it all.
Is everything on the beam in there?
Just a small accident.
We'll try not to break Mother's china for our dinner tonight.
to how the heck people survived a New Orleans summer without AC and with 6 layers of clothing on. So to recap, Stanley's for brunch, the Lower Pentava for top-tier people watching and architectural caulking, and the 1850 house for your historical deep dive.
Blast it all.
3 big slices of New Orleans charm, all crammed into one corner of the French Quarter. Alright y'all, listen up. Eggs Stanley ain't just a breakfast, it's an experience. It's like if a poor boy in a fancy brunch item fell in love, had a baby, and raised it right on the streets of New Orleans. Now you got 2 poached eggs sitting there looking like royalty on top of those English muffins, which are getting smothered in this Creole hollandaise that's basically butter with an attitude, and then bam! Bam, 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 bam! Here comes them Gulf oysters, cornmeal crusted and crunchy like they're mad at the plate. They ain't no garnish, they're the headliners. And buried under all that goodness, smoked ham, buddy. Not that thin, sad deli stuff. This is smoky, salty, honest-to-God southern ham that gives those eggs something to cling to when the yolk floodgates burst open. You cut into it, and the next thing you know, there's yolk and hollandaise running wild like it's Mardi Gras on your plate. Those oysters? They're like bite-sized seafood fireworks, crispy outside, juicy inside, and they just don't play nice. They take over. Every bite's like, yeah, this is why I'm not eating brunch in Ohio. Long story short, this dish is bold, loud, a little messy, and absolutely glorious. So good. It's what happens when you give a brunch classic a shot of Southern swagger and let it walk down Bourbon Street. You eat the egg Stanley and you're not just full, you're baptized. Now, go grab some egg Stanley, then go time traveling upstairs. You've earned it. I've eaten my way through a lot of towns, and I tell you, everyone has got that spot where locals gather to get right with the world. In Bucktown, that spot's Deanie's Seafood, the kind of place that smells like comfort before you even see the sign. You catch that scent of butter, garlic, and fried cornmeal in the breeze coming off that lake, and it reels you in faster than a redfish on a summer tide. Deanie's has been feeding folks since 1961. Back when Bucktown was more shrimp nets than SUVs. John and Alma Deanie Liver-Carey started it up as a humble seafood market, selling the day's catch right out of the cooler to fishermen and families alike. Then the Shafisi family took it over in the early 1980s, turning that market into a full-blown Gulf Coastal institution. And never once lost sight of what made it special. Fresh seafood, simple recipes, and enough butter to make your cardiologist weep. Now before you even order, Deanie's lets you know exactly where you are with their complimentary boiled new potatoes. They come out of the kitchen steaming in a little bowl meaning business. Each one's rolled in crab oil, so strong it could double as paint thinner. Hot, garlicky, and unapologetically delicious. Then comes the main event, the char-broiled oysters. Lord, those things come out sizzling like a jazz riff. Big, proud Gulf oysters, laid right on the grill, hit with butter, garlic, and a shower of Parmesan and Romano cheese. They bubble, they hiss, they pop, and when that flame kisses that mix just right, it turns it into something downright poetic. The smell alone could stop traffic on Lake Avenue. You scoop one up, blowing it just enough to keep your tongue, and dive in. It's smoky, salty, creamy, and rich, like the Gulf itself decided to show off a little bit. At least they know how to make them. Yeah. That's good. You'll be sopping up that leftover butter with French bread, conducting a one-man cleanup operation and enjoying every second of it. There's one left.
We can have it.
Are you sure?
Mm.
But if fried seafood is more your love language, Deanie's fried oyster platter is a masterpiece in its own right. A mountain of golden brown glory big enough to make your belt nervous. No parsley, no garnish, no fuss. Just oysters fried crisp on the outside, tender and briny inside, sitting on a bed of hot, salty fries. just like I like it. The batter's light but confident, seasoned with a whisper of spice that keeps you reaching for one more. It's honest food, nothing fancy, everything perfect. The whole place hums with that easy, joyful kind of chaos that happens when everybody's exactly where they want to be.
Man, this is good.
I'm glad you liked it. I feel bad when the restaurant's not that good. You know?
Why?
Well, it's kind of my job, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I don't know where the good food is. You got families digging into fried platters like it's a team sport. Old-timers swearing they've eaten better oysters, but somehow still cleaning their plates. And me sitting there with a mound of golden fried oysters and french fries. So definitely lives up to its reputation. Out on Lake Avenue, the breeze rolls in salty and soft. Inside, the beer stays cold, and for a little while, life's no more complicated than hot grease, good seafood, and the sounds of folks being happy.
Kathy was good though.
How's the shrimp?
That was good too. I ate it all. Oh, yeah, sorry.
There's always like a little gift when you find the extra shrimp tucked under the fish. You'll walk out with butter on your fingers, a grin on your face, and a promise to come back soon. 'Cause Deanie's ain't just a restaurant. It's a reminder that some things in this life are still done the right way. Boiled, grilled, or fried. And always straight from the heart of Louisiana. So, Deanie's started off as that seafood market right next door.
Oh, wow.
They started serving poor boys and whatnot. They're so good. Thank you. So good that they expanded into a restaurant.
Wow.
And now they have like several locations, but this is the original in Bucktown. Acme Oyster House has probably shown up in more of my videos than my own face at this point. I've talked about the restaurant. I've talked about the building. I even told the story about how Acme fed half the US military before they shipped off to fight in Europe and the Pacific. So this time, we're keeping it simple. No deep history dives, no ghost stories, no nothing. Just oysters 3 ways. Char-grilled and sizzling like summer on Bourbon Street. A bowl of that rich oyster Rockefeller soup that'll make you forget your very own name. And a fried oyster remoulade so good it'll make your cardiologist shake his head. These little slices of deep fried heaven will make you forget every bad decision you've ever made, which is a very bold declaration. So you know they must be good. These oysters hit the table looking like they just strutted out of the fryer wearing tuxedos of golden crunch. The batter's light, crispy, and somehow manages to stay glued to the oyster instead of your shirt. Then there's a remoulade. Lord have mercy. It's tangy, creamy, got a little mustard bite, maybe even a whisper of heat, like it knows how to flirt without making a scene. You drag that fried oyster through the sauce, and suddenly you understand why people wait in line here for a table. Bite into one and it's like the Gulf of Mexico just gave you a kiss. Salty, sweet, and a little dangerous. You get that crunch first, then the soft, briny oyster underneath. And by the time you swallow, you're already reaching for the next one. It's the kind of food that don't just fill you up, it makes you happy to be alive. Acme Fried Oyster Remoulade is about as close to perfection as you can get without breaking a commandment. Then they bring out that platter of char-grilled oysters, and Lord have mercy, they're still sizzling, their shells popping like they're trying to testify, each one swimming in a buttery lagoon of garlic and cheese, with little crispy bits on top that make you want to lick the shell clean, like a sinner begging forgiveness. You scoop one up, and that first bite hits like a gospel choir, smoky, salty, creamy, and just enough heat from the grill to remind you this ain't health food, it's soul food.
So much better. That's how a char-grilled oyster should taste. It's very simple, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that butter and the garlic, the Cajun seasoning, and that Parmesan, the grated cheese.
It's messy as heck too. Butter's running down your wrist, smoke's in your eyes, and you're grinning like a fool while the guy next to you hollers for another dozen. That's the magic of acne. Everybody's happy, loud, and a little shiny with oyster juice. It ain't fancy, it's not quiet, but it has that New Orleans kind of joy that makes you want to slap the table and shout. Now that's living. Alright y'all, let me tell you about the oyster Rockefeller soup. It's like New Orleans decided to turn one of her fanciest dishes into a warm hug. You sit down, and before you even get a spoon in your hand, that smell hits you. Butter, cream, and the salty whisper of the Gulf, all tangled up with spinach and herbs like a Mardi Gras parade in a pot. The first bite, pure velvet. It's rich and smooth, with little chunks of oysters hiding in there like treasure. You get that ocean flavor. Not fishy, mind you, just clean and briny, floating through all that creamy goodness. Then here comes the spinach, sneaking in like it's trying to pretend this might be healthy or something. It's one of them soups that'll make you sit back and hum a little under your breath. Every spoonful feels like it's about to slide right off the table if you don't keep up. Then the herb saint gives it a little kick, not spicy, just enough to remind you it's from New Orleans, baby. Now fair warning, this ain't light. This is a whole meal in a bowl, the kind of thing you eat slow while you watch tourists stumble down Iberville. But it's worth every calorie. There's a dang good reason I keep finding myself back at Acton. First off, it's my boy's favorite spot in the whole French Quarter, and when your kid picks oysters over chicken tenders, you know you raised them right. The line moves faster than a gator in a rainstorm. They ain't trying to blow your eardrums out with club music, and somehow, even when the place is packed, it doesn't feel like you're eating in a sardine can. The wait staff is friendly, knows their stuff, and the food, simple, honest, and straight up delicious. Prices are fair, portions are right, and you walk out full and happy every single time. What's not to love? If you've been enjoying this video and want to help us keep exploring the Gulf Coast, consider joining Gulf Coastal Connections as a channel member. You get exclusive perks like our members-only podcast, custom emojis, and badges that show your support for this community. Just hit that join button below to check it out. It really helps us keep the stories rolling. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It's free, it only takes a second, and it makes a world of difference. Hitting that little red button and the bell beside it means you'll never miss our latest adventures, ghost stories, and our Gulf Coastal History deep dives. And of course, smash that little button if you've had a good time. It helps more folks find these videos and keeps our little Gulf Coastal family growing. Most of all, drop a comment and join the conversation. Always meant this to be a two-way street, because if it's just me talking, well, that's not a conversation, that's a monologue. So tell me what you think, share your stories, and let's keep this thing going together. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support.
baby.